trailer out because we are going to be, hopefully, assuming everything goes well, I don't like to jinx myself, be trading this plus cash for the coolest tow rig ever. This is a dream tow rig setup of mine. I've always wanted one of these. I've only seen 3 other ones for sale. This is about to storm because it's Florida. Not even the same thing, just similar, same concept. And I've never been in the position to be able to buy one, but it was kind of good timing that this one popped up for sale. The dude happened to be looking for a trailer because I'm not gonna need the trailer if we get this. He was down to do a trade for my trailer plus cash for this setup. So we're gonna get everything cleaned out. Regardless of whether the deal works out, we need to really go through this whole trailer anyway. We're gonna get everything cleaned out, get it cleaned up, and then we're gonna take a little road trip up to go check this thing out and hopefully swap. But first things first, we gotta empty out years of parts collecting in here. You know, we've got spare parts from the Miata days. It's, you know, if you ever had a race trailer, you know how it goes. Put something in there, and you put something else in there, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of stuff you don't need in there. But I'm really excited about this. I'm not gonna get my hopes up until it does or doesn't happen, but, and I mean, for those of you who watch regularly, you know this thing's got to be pretty cool if I'm willing to get rid of this trailer for it, because I really love this trailer. This was my ideal trailer size. It's a 32-foot gooseneck. It's a very hard size to find. It's all aluminum. Me and Josue added the cabinets and an in-floor winch just recently. You know, we really set this up to be a good, efficient setup to tow the car to the track and go compete with. But this setup it's that good. It's that good. So there's more plans post if we get this thing that I'll explain later, but first things first, we got to get it cleaned out, go potentially make the deal, and then we'll get into all that later. But there's my copper washers. You get the idea. Let's get this trailer cleaned out. So we started ripping everything out of this trailer. This trailer has not been empty. It's always had stuff in it since I've owned it, basically. And that's one of the beauties of an enclosed trailer, is if you don't need the stuff inside for any reason, you can just leave it in the trailer. And boy, we have left a lot of stuff in the trailer. So we started out by getting all the big bulky items, the wheels and all of that, and then we could start digging into the cabinets. And as I kind of expected, we found some treasures that have been lost to time. Oh man, I really wish I would have remembered. I thought about these the other day.
Oh, those are the ones.
This is the event that I won. It's 32 battle 1, 16 battle 1, top 8 battle 1, top 4 battle 1, final battle 1. Or maybe
the final wouldn't get one.
Yeah,
yeah. Dang. I see those stuff.
So after some reminiscing on some good times, some good clutch kickers rounds, and wishing that I'd put those in the epoxy table we just built, it was back to work on cleaning all the stuff out of the cabinets. As I said, stuff has gone in here and has not come out of here. We've been meaning to do this clean out for a long time, whether we were getting rid of the trailer or not, just to make it more efficient. There's no need carrying around a bunch of stuff and taking up space with stuff that you don't need or isn't going to work for the program now that we're running a different car. So as we got the stuff out, we started cleaning the cabinets. We got these cabinets from Midwest Race Cabinets. They've been really good to us. I mean, they have not been treated kindly. We've had a bunch of stuff in them, and they've held up really well. And it's definitely one of those things where you don't realize how much stuff is in here until you start taking it all out and filling up tote after tote after tote. This was a very efficient setup. I mean, we were able to fit a lot of stuff in here between the toolbox and all the cabinets. And all that stuff's got to come out and get stored or go somewhere until we get the new rig potentially. So we just plugged away on cleaning this thing out, got it blown out, got the walls cleaned, and we're done and dusted. All right, well, this is the first time the trailer has been empty since we got it and put the cabinets in and such. It is completely stripped. We do have all of our tools and consumables here we're going to bring with us. And if everything goes well, you know, toss them in the other rig just so we have them on the trip with us. But everything else is out, stored in the shop for now. It's nice to see it all completely clean and empty. Nothing up top, nothing in the cabinets, nothing on top of the counters. She's pretty well cleared out, so nothing left to it but to do it. Get ready for the journey. So before we left, I wanted to wash the trailer up for the guy, just clean it up. It's gonna get dirty on the trip, but you know, it hasn't been cleaned in a while, and I decided to start with the back. I got it moved over by the garage so those would reach, and as I started washing it, I realized this was going to take a lot more time than I had because I still wanted to go through, check the trailer bearings, and do all the service stuff needed to get us there. Washing isn't involved in getting us there, so washing got pushed to the wayside, got everything else ready, and we took off. We made our first fuel stop somewhere a little past outside of Jacksonville at a truck stop so we could get fueled up, grab some drinks, and then we made our way out of Florida and into Georgia. So we're heading up 95 up to Maryland. It's a hike. It's a long drive. We passed through a lot of states, a lot of cities. We managed to pass this mega cab towing a couple drag cars. That was kind of neat. We made our way into South Carolina, took a quick stop at a rest area. We try to avoid getting off going to gas stations if we can. We don't need fuel, but you always got to stop at least one Buc-ee's on a road trip. No road trip is complete without at least one Buc-ee's stop. I try to stop at the ones that aren't super busy, but we kept cruising our way into the night. We're going to be getting in pretty late if we want to make it all the way through. Our goal is to get up as close to the guy's house as possible, get a hotel, stay the night, and then that way we don't have a long drive to get to him in the morning to hopefully shorten up the next day. So we got off the highway about a couple hours out into Maryland and started heading down the back roads to finish off the last leg of the trip. We found a place to stay that was pretty close to the guy's house. So we cruised our way through the final stint and made it to our hotel, got a good night's sleep, got up bright and early and made the final 30-minute trek over to the guy's house to see what is literally my full-on dream tow rig situation. And this is the moment of truth. We're gonna find out if this thing's good, bad, piece of junk, if it's gonna work for us. If not, really crossing my fingers that this goes well for us.
It sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds like a rig. It sounds good. I was good. Boring.
It's so cool.
God.
It's happening.
It's very cool. Very cool. Very surreal still.
I know, it doesn't feel real. It feels so cool going in there. Like, I imagine us getting out at the gas station and you just like pile out.
Dude, when you let go of the brake, and then, oh, it sounds good.
Yeah.
It's period.
Yeah.
It's all downhill. This thing gets up and goes.
Right. This feels so weird.
It does. Back here feels weird. What do you mean? I'm not even in a seat, dude.
Yeah.
I just switched sides.
Perspective is really hard to know how close you are because you're almost sitting on it.
Right.
And it feels like you're on it more than you actually are.
Just got louder and it's clinking. I see what's clinking back there now. And the door was open. Well, the door's open and then that bar back there. But we're learning. We got this.
So we made the deal and we hit the road. We've got a long journey ahead of us in what is to us an untested bus. So we did take some back roads to avoid some of the major cities on the way out. We made a fuel stop as soon as we could just to make sure that was topped off and we didn't have to worry about it. Raldo's driving the mega cab back, I'm driving the bus, and we are just gonna keep trucking on the way home. So we made it through kind of the chaos. It was trial by fire. We had to go through Richmond, which was really busy during rush hour, and back roads and stop and go. But we were finally on the open highway, which is where this thing was meant to be. House on wheels, let's go. So we got our coolant temp right there. Transmission temp down at the bottom. Those are the main two I'm focused on. Keeping an eye on, but they seem to be pretty consistent throughout all the different conditions. So that is grade A. Look at this view. Look at this lack of traffic too, that's nice. Literally cruise control on. We got a Jake brake. It's official. I don't care what anyone says, this is a big rig. Big rig, little rig. So we got back on the road and started cruising into the night. The headlights on this thing are not the best. A lot of the gauge backlights don't work, so it's definitely not the best vehicle to be driving into the night, but we got to do what we got to do. We're trying to make it all the way home. Now our ETA, if we want to drive straight through, puts us home in the wee hours of the early morning, but we're going to do what we can do. We're going to see how far we can make it, and fortunately, you know, if we do need to stop, we have a bus to sleep in, but we're all feeling good. We're excited. We got our adrenaline pumping from this new adventure, so I think we can make it. I think we can tough it out and finish this drive out. So we just kept cruising. The benefit to driving through the night with a new bus that I'm not super familiar with is there's not a whole lot of traffic in the roads, and before we knew it, we had made it into Georgia, and this is really the home stretch for us. So we made a couple stops at rest areas, convenient bus things. We got a fridge so we can just grab a drink out of there. We can use the bathroom on the bus, but for as empty as the roads were, the rest areas were packed. The last rest area we stopped at, there was no parking on the car side and there was no parking on the truck side. We had to put the hazards on in the exit lane and just park there to get us by. Well, we made it back home with our new bus. So long drive. I think our original ETA was like 4:15 in the morning. We got in around 6:30, which that's pretty standard. Normally, you know, an hour every 6 hours with stops, and we were stopping pretty frequently at the end there. We were both pretty tired. Raldo was driving the mega cab back. I was driving this thing. Josue was riding shotgun. We all stayed awake, which was good. You know, we weren't pushing it, but it was pretty exhausting because we drove up there the day before. We got in around midnight. Then we had to go get food because there was nothing close by. So we had to drive the truck with the trailer, you know, out of this tight parking lot in the hotel to a fast food place. And one cool thing, though, is we did get one last hoorah having to do some crazy maneuvering with the trailer before we said goodbye to it. So that was cool. Kind of worked out. But, you know, we went to bed pretty late that night, 3 in the morning, got up around 8:30. Went to see the bus, you know, spent a bunch of time touring the bus, looking at everything, checking out everything, then going to the bank, then swapping things over, parking the trailer, and by the time we got on the road, it was 4 o'clock. So it was a very, very long, full day. We were very tired, but the bus made it back. Did not skip a single beat. I mean, it was perfect. The temperatures stayed perfect. They stayed right at 180, chilled, nothing. Not a light going out, nothing. We didn't have to deal with anything other than driving it back. And on that note, the mega cab made it back. You know, this is our second long trip, and we haven't had that thing very long, and it didn't skip a beat on the way up there with the trailer or on the way back. So really as good as this trip could have gone in that sense. But that being said, we were pretty tired. But we're here, and it's time to give you guys a tour of this thing. So obviously, it's a big old bus. You can see how big it is when it's sitting here in the driveway. You don't realize how big it is until you put it somewhere that you're familiar with, and you realize this thing is a monstrosity. So this is obviously a bus, right? It's not just a bus that we could tow with. We can tow with it, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But it's got something really special about it. This is potentially one of one. There's probably another one. I haven't seen another one. So let's start on the inside. I'll show you that first, and then we'll get to the exciting bit. We're gonna have to cut this part out. All right, so first things first, let's get the generator fired up. That's pretty easy. Gotta give it a second for it to really power up. Oh, yeah, that's on now. So the AC should be coming on in a minute. Yeah, there we go.
Power on.
Alright, now we'll have some freaking AC. Center cabin, kitchen. Dude, it's got all these curb lights. I accidentally turned one on last night. I noticed it when we parked. Entry camera. Alright. So now we got that working. So let me give you guys a little tour of this thing. So from the front looking back, we got, you know, cabinets here. Oh, there we go. So we got a couch on this side. This is folds out into a bed. This is a slide out. So this slides out. So it opens up a lot of room in here. We've got this couch over here. This one folds out into the bed. It is called the Magic Bed. It is super comfy. I haven't slept on it yet, but folded it out and laid on it. Whoo! Very nice. We got this table here. Super 90s. Party table. Literally. You know, spin it any which way, and then we can just take it out and set it out of the way when you're going to fold the bed down. We've got tile floors. These are just little rugs. Real tile floors. Back here, we've got these granite countertops. We've got a cooktop, this BMW clock, you know, vent deal. We've got a built-in microwave, built-in coffee maker that we'll probably never use. Sink, tons of storage. This is like a pull-out, you know, cutting board kind of area. We got all sorts of cabinets over here. Little closet for hanging stuff up. We got cabinet space up here. And then if you go in here, we've got a pretty good sized fridge. Then we've got our bathroom in here. So we've got this nice, basically full-size shower here. As you can see, we do need to do some work on that. There's a leak, so the water's turned off to it. So we definitely need to fix that because we're gonna want this shower. We got a nice little counter here, sink, toilet, fan, kind of nice. More cabinet storage space. So that's the main living area. You can see up here we've got some super retro disc player, VHS DVD player, TV up here in the center. This amplifier receiver deal here, boom. More cabinet space up here. CB radio handle. Got a CB. This is what the cockpit looks like. Look at down here, got a big bus wheel. We got all of our switches and gauges. That's our hazards. So he's opening the window there. Oh, it's got a screen. That's kind of cool. Hazards. This was camera system, but we have this one now, which I gotta turn the headlights on for. So if you look, that's our backup camera, door camera. I think that one doesn't work, but left and right, these are pointing out the back. Boom. But the rear is really nice just to have rolling down the road, be able to see if someone's behind you. But you can see we got a Jake brake, we got cruise control. Diag, it's still OBD1. So the bus is a 1989 Eagle, but it was built out in 2005. We'll get more into that here in a second. But yeah, this is the cockpit. We got all our light switches there. Got the AC rolling. Let's try to turn the secondary AC on. Now that we're in a controlled setting. So cool. All right, so most of you have probably figured this out already, but this is not just some RV bus that we're gonna tow a trailer with. Like that said, we can still tow a trailer with it. But there's a reason why I got this particular bus and I'm so excited about this thing. This is my dream tow rake setup. Let me show you. So, this is our living area. If we go through this door here, this is our garage. So built into the bus, we have a garage for the car. So this is a pretty good sized garage. I believe it's 18 feet to the door. So, you know, we can comfortably fit the car in here, still have some room. Let me turn some of these other lights on. We got all this lighting. Where's this?
Still learning.
Yeah, we're still figuring out where.
There's more switches down here on the stair. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so this is the garage. We'll have to get this stuff out to show you this, but we've got storage under here. We got storage under here, which is pretty nifty. And then we have all of these cabinets, which there's already some stuff in here. But we've got a ton of cabinet space. You know, these cabinets go full length of the bus, so we can fit a lot of stuff in here, which is nice. That'll be very, very handy. So it came with this extra trim. This is the, you know, the chrome trim around the bus. Got our wheel chocks there, but yeah, this is the garage space. The AC's kicking back here. This thing's been sitting. It's hot. We got the AC on, so there's an AC in the front, obviously for the living area, then this AC which splits. So an AC's back here and up there. So when we go on trips, car's not in here, you can set up an air mattress, someone can sleep in here, and then we got the 2 beds up there. Basically the whole thing is now an RV, just with, you know, sleeping in the garage.
Dibs.
Dibs, yeah, that's what he wants, the garage. Hey, no one can get upset that he has to sleep in the garage because he's the one who wants it.
Careful what you ask for.
Right. Yeah, it's so cool. We haven't really.
Oh yeah.
It's icy.
Yeah, it's cool. It's working.
We haven't really got to take this in yet. You know, we looked at it while we were there, decided, and then we just whole shot at home. You know, we just sent it home, so we haven't even really taken it all in yet.
Did you show them the?
I don't know how to turn those. Oh well, no, I haven't shown them. Yeah, show them the mosaic.
That's what it is. Mosaic piece.
Checkered flag.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll get more into this in a minute. All the stuff that we plan to do to this, because it's so usable as is. Obviously, we drove it home, but there's a lot of things we can do to make it better, nicer, and just kind of more suited around us. That's what we do. We like to upgrade things and change them and dial them in to suit our program and the way we like to do things. So we got some big plans there. But before we get into that, let me show you how we get a car in there. Before we get into that, we need to get this thing parked in what's going to be its home, at least for now. So I'm going to get this thing fired up and get her moved around here. Oh, easy peasy. Well, we got to wait for it to build air pressure.
What's it got in it?
Well, it's got a Cummins. 400 horsepower Cummins in it. We'll get into that when we get into how you load the car, because that's how you're going to be able to see the engine. This thing's got some power, man. Like, cruising it home. So it caps out around 73, 75. If you're all in, really it cruises good around 70, 71. But it's going to be kind of hard to explain if you've never towed, but it doesn't feel like it runs out of the power to carry itself there, because it gets there quick and it holds that speed up hills. I think it's just kind of like governed out there. I think RPM and gearing wise, maybe it's just maxed out. But it doesn't feel like you're stressing it when you're doing that. Like, it just cruises so much better than I would have thought for an 89 bus. But I do believe when the conversion was done in 05, it was repowered because the engine date plate. I'll have you guys look at that. Any of you Cummins experts, you can tell me what the engine is. If we can hop it up any, you know, I mean, I wouldn't be mad about hopping it up, but it's nice the way it is now, you know. I mean, you pretty much just drive it like someone would drive a bus. That was just nice to drive. Very, very chill. Took me a minute to get used to it, for sure. It's a big beast, but, you know, it's the same thing as driving it with a big trailer. You gotta swing wide, gotta pay attention, gotta watch your mirrors. Just a little bit different seating position. Oh, show them the view out the front. Show them what your view is like.
Right here, boom. Got the full curtain, covers the whole windshield.
Close those up. We've got, show them up here. So these are double curtains. So you've got layer one, and then if you want to block out more of the sunlight, layer too.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's neat. But yeah, no, this couch in particular, A1, here I can do some editing from here. This thing's built air pressure, so we can get it moved. Alright, let me go get the plumbing keys.
Big rigging.
Future when we bring it home, they just go and boom.
Boom.
You definitely feel it like digging in over here. But yeah, I think I'll scoot you just a little bit this way to level it out. A lot quieter when the engine's not running. Alright, now for the back portion. Yeah, like I said, this works out good because if we're loading up, we pull the car out, put it in. So these open up. Pull out, we got these little sticks. We need to hold them open. Got our winch box here, winch remote box. Then move over here.
Clearly marked right there, winch. Push that down. Give some slacky slack.
So yeah, this comes down, and then this pulls out, but we're not going to put a car on it in just a second. But we'll show you the whole operation here. We're going to have to try that out before we go to an event.
For sure.
Give it a little trial run. But yeah, so this opens up. I guess I can do this after. Yeah, so check this out. So for the liftgate buttons, we've got one, where is it? There's one here, and then there's one up there. So that way, as you're going up and you get higher, you have that one. And I'm pretty sure there's one of each of those on this side as well. Or no, There's one down here on this side. So this side has two, this side has one. So come over here.
Well, depends.
Oh, you're right.
Got a pin on each side.
Loose, yeah.
Let's see. Hold on.
Pins.
Pins?
There's a lot of operating procedure here that we're gonna have to get used to. Yeah, so this goes up, and then I see we're getting high. So now we switch over to this one. And this guy. Our doors open.
Voila.
These guys, which we're gonna have to, I believe, modify this a little bit for the vet. I don't think opening it this far is enough for the vet based on our measurements. They're basically gonna have to be open as far as they can possibly go. And then bada bing, bada boom, car comes in. Isn't that so cool? Yeah, let's go in the AC for a minute, I'm sweating. This AC unit's a ripper. I turned that one off since we were gonna open the back.
Back in. Boom. Boom.
On the squat. The AC brake job. This is gonna be so sick at the track.
AC
I said it's our
right
first
there.
time really getting to, like, you know, we messed around with it, looked at it. Why did I bring some? While we were there to learn it, you know, but now it's ours and it's at the house. Full on bus in the front yard. It's in a passenger seat again.
And then the footrest, I didn't use the footrest much, but apparently that's a hot commodity.
Hot commodity, dude. Footrest in.
It did look very
full-on
nice.
Power strip up there, charging all the things.
That's a charging station.
Charging station.
The first one was when we drove to the bank, that was a little rough, like we talked about being over the axle, the front axle, like it doing
So the
that.
guy who owned it drove for us to go to the bank, and then I drove back from the bank. And yeah, that first one, I was almost feeling a little nauseous,
Yeah, but
not
then
being used to it.
It's like being on a boat. Like
Yeah.
the first like couple of like you feel the waves, but then you get used to it. And once you got used to it, oh man,
That was chill. It was super
great.
smooth.
very
Cruising.
difficult to stay awake in the passenger seat.
Yeah, these headrests, this is like a straight up pillow. Even on the driver's side, you put your head in this and it's game over. Because it is like a pillow.
So you sit there, lounge, pilot's driving.
Yeah, this is her. So last time we filled up was in North Carolina. We still got half the tank left. The generator, it's a 150 gallon tank. The generator and the engine run off that tank. So it's pretty nifty. So as long as we fill up before we get to the track, we'll have plenty of fuel to last us all weekend. So one of the things we want to do is, you know, update this. We'll probably run the same gauges. They're nice gauges, but backlight all the gauges. The Speedo's hit or miss. It honestly didn't work most of the drive. So I'd like to try to sort that out and then like lighting up some of the switches. So one thing we think would be cool. So we'll kind of renovate this panel, make it light up, you know, like people do in semis. The steering wheel can go all sorts of ways. I meant to play with it before we got on the road, but then we got on the road and I never really found the time.
Show them the pedals.
Oh yeah, and then here's your pedals. They're both on the same side. So that's our brake pedal. It's got like a little wood foot extension and our gas pedal. I forgot the truck's on. Yeah, so I forgot about that. So down here, those are your signals. So that's right turn. And then left turn is over here. So you hit them with your foot, and then this is your high beams. So it's definitely interesting. You hit them with your foot. But yeah, so update this panel, make it look nice. You know, all consistent backlighting, maybe light up switches. Then we also want to add some ambient lighting. That's a really nice thing in the newer trucks is you have, you know, lighting that you can basically stays on the whole time you're driving. So it's not enough to inhibit you viewing out of the vehicle, but you can see in. You know, if you're reaching around for your drink or trying to find your phone, you can see. So, you know, add some accent lighting in the pockets here, maybe a little bit up here, and then do like almost some runway lights down here so we can run the kind of mood lighting all the time while we're driving down the road. Probably try to add a sub into here, maybe somewhere. Definitely needs a sub. We need to update the infotainment system. This TV, I'm assuming it only has RCAs, being an 05. It is a flat screen, but it has to work off the DVD player or the dish thing. This radio here controls these speakers And then this controls, there's 4. There's 2 in the roof there and 2 in the roof there. That's what we used on the drive home because we couldn't get the Bluetooth figured out on this thing. So there's all sorts of stuff, dated stuff that we need to change out. So ideally, best case scenario, we find a TV that fits in here and just put a smart TV in here. And then we can just hotspot to it, connect, you know, go on Netflix or whatever. And then maybe do something here, just take advantage of this space or just leave this stuff here. You know, it doesn't matter. Got another cabinet here. Take the elevator ride back down. It is crazy to walk out on this thing. We have this winch here. I think there's a roller where we can set it up to pull from that side. And we've got a big old winch remote here.
So it's ready to rip.
Ready.
It's a...
Got our little, you know, consumables rack here. This is the other winch controller. Like I said, my ideal scenario, I think, would be to put kind of all of our spare program in these cabinets, which, I mean, honestly, this is a lot of cabinets.
It is.
This is definitely more cabinets than we had in the other trailer. So I think we should be able to kind of pack everything into here, the tools into the toolbox, which is over on this side. Yeah, let's show them that. So this lifts up. There's our like engine batteries, and then we've got this toolbox here. So we should be able to fit all our tools in there. Now the neat thing about this is when we get to the track, we've got an awning, full-length awning, literally front to back of the bus that goes out. I think it's like 15 or 20. It's pretty far.
Nice.
Pretty good range on the awnings where they go out. So extend the awnings out, open that up. We've got our toolbox there. We'll have our jack, stuff like that in one of these other cubbies. Pull all that stuff out, and then everything we need to work on the car, which is always out here, is out here. Bring a little, maybe a fold-up table. I'd like to try to add a fold-in workbench inside the bus, but yeah, that's it. That is the new rig. I'm pretty dang stoked on this thing. Like, it's crazy. I've always wanted one of these all-in-one setups, and it's like, you could pull a trailer with an RV, probably get similar fuel economy, but just the idea of being able to take everything, have a living space, have a place to put the car, and not have to deal with a trailer, not have to deal with hooking and unhooking, and, you know, if you need to back up like we just did, you're not dealing with a trailer. Like, so cool. So this does have a hitch, as you can see down there, and the engine does make some good power. The idea is we'll get like a 24-foot bumper pull. We can tow it behind the mega cab. You know, when we're just doing maybe a local event, I'd probably still try to bring this, but if we didn't feel like it, if we're going and picking up a car, you know, we're not going to take this to go buy a car. Have that trailer for that, the in-town setup, keep the mega cab. Our plan is to do a giveaway with the Fummins, so stay tuned for that. If you're interested in the Fummins, we're going to be doing a giveaway on the Fummins, potentially with the open trailer as well. You have to decide on that, but that'll be the in-town rig. Mega cab, nice little bumper pull enclosed, and then if we want to take 2 cars, let's say we were going to Grid Life, we turn the Miata into more of a time attack deal, we can take the Vet in here, or the Miata in here and the Vet in the trailer. We can take 2 cars with us, which is huge, because any other way to accomplish a 2-car trailer situation is going to suck if you're only taking 1 car. So if we were to get rid of the enclosed and get a 2-car enclosed, it's fine if we're taking 2 cars, 48-foot enclosed, you know, gooseneck. But if we're taking 1 car, now we've got all this wasted space. Or if we get a 2-car open trailer, get rid of the open trailer, keep the enclosed. If we're taking 2 cars, like, it's already hard enough to fit enough stuff for 1 car in the enclosed trailer, let alone 2 cars on an open trailer, right? So there's no good way I could figure out where we had the capability of taking 2 cars, but we're still max efficiency if we're only taking 1.
Voila.
Voila. So yeah, I guess we'll drop this thing down real quick.
I hit him with the cool, huh? Yes.
I want to see how it goes, like, all the way down to the ground real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I need to get these out, but first, this is our engine compartment. It's kind of the neat thing. If you need to work on it, you got a whole freaking step here. So this is engine number 8484804804890. 12. Oh, is that 95 or 05? 1295. I got some oil there, so we'll need to look into that before our next trip.
Full systems check.
Full systems check.
Big old intake, but
That's what I'm saying. That's what I noticed first. It's like a 6-inch intake. If you have any input on this, if you know what kind of Cummins this is, if you know there's any ways we can, spice up power a little bit. It's good though. It's good where it is, but we're hot rodders at heart, We get. Oh, that's neat.
did they turn on?
Yeah. They're not the brightest things ever, but sure working at night.
Well, that means we got power back here, so that means we can make some adjustments.
Yeah, we could put some LEDs in there.
Right.
Working on this thing at night. That's what's cool about this. Like compared to a truck, like it's just like it's meant for this. It's meant to be able to be serviced easily and all that stuff. We got engine compartment lights. That's cool. Crazy how low this is.
It is. The whole thing.
All right. Look it up before we stress ourselves out. Just made it back from Maryland.
Yep. We'll get to know her soon enough. Definitely excited though.
Yeah.
It's definitely a whole new ball game.
Yeah, it's a new adventure for us. I mean, and it's a different way of doing things. It's, we normally cruise around 80 with the trailer. 75. This just cruise at 70, slow lane most of the time. We were bussing some people. We made a term. Passing regular cars with the bus, we call it bussing. We're bussing them. They got bussed. But yeah, staying at the track. That's a big thing. It's nice to wake up and be at the track. Like if the drivers' meetings are early, which lately it seems like they've all been super early, and we're, a lot of these tracks are in the middle of nowhere. So your closest hotel's 30 minutes away, then you got to get up, you got to go to the store, get ice and stuff to cool your drinks down. We got a fridge. You got to drive to the track, get there, open everything back up. So that'll be nice. But at the same time, unless we take a car with us to drive around, we have no way of leaving the track. So that's a sacrifice, And I debated this a lot. And, I think this will work good for us. But time will tell. Time will tell. So hopefully in the next week or so, we should have a project on that. We'll be back to work on this thing. Test load the car, test drive this thing with the car in it. Make sure all's well there. See where we can fit all our tires. Let's show them that.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot all about that. All our extra compartments. So when I first saw this thing for sale, my gripe was we're gonna have to figure out where to put the tires. Because that's the thing with drifting. You gotta bring a lot of tires. But we have this compartment. Is it locked? Oh yeah, so this is this one.
The latch.
Yeah.
Make sure.
So I think we can fit 10 in here. 2, 4, 6, 8. Or maybe more than that. 12? 10, 12. Plus spare front here. So that's 6 pairs of rears, which is all we have wheels for. So if we can fit all of our mounted tires in here, and then just maybe if we've got to bring some extra tires, do just like we did with the other trailer. Toss them in somewhere in the garage area, that's really not bad. Ideally, we'll have all the spares in the cabinets, tools in the toolbox, so we won't really need to take up any of these other ones.
How's the door feel? I haven't messed with them.
It's
smooth?
Yeah, so here's this is the generator one. Yeah, this is our generator. So it is a Quiet Pack 75D gen rack. It's a nice, proper generator. It's pretty cool. It came with a setup that we can put on the exhaust for the generator and point it up with a big filter, so if someone was pitted right next to us, they wouldn't be getting blasted with generator exhaust. Thought that was pretty cool. It's got all new tires. They're basically brand new still. And these full-on semi tires are not cheap.
Nice looking wheels.
Yeah, the semi wheels matching.
Shining, shining.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We gotta play with the awnings. One of the arms needs to be replaced. Oh yeah, this one, so we have this other cabinet here. Yeah, so this one comes with this fridge freezer deal. He left it here, but obviously we really don't need this, so we'll probably take it out.
Mm-hmm.
But so we have this cabinet here. It's decent size.
Easily fit four tires in there.
Usually 4, depending on if they fit.
Mm-hmm. Something, definitely room for something.
But yeah, if not, totes, spare parts. We can put like the jack and jack stands up there. You know, we have the jack and stuff up there. We took all that stuff out and we've got our work area.
It's a very well built rig.
Solid rig.
Solid.
Doesn't move around when you walk in there. It's A1. So that being said, we're gonna end it here. There's a lot of jibber jabber, a lot of stuff. But let me know what you guys think of the rig, the bus. Let me know if you know anything about the engine, any things we can do. Probably shouldn't touch it. Probably should just let it rip. But yeah, with that, we're gonna end it here. More on this later. I'm really excited about this thing. I've always dreamed of having a big rig of any sort. I've always dreamed of having an all-in-one rig like this. I thought it's the coolest idea ever, and the timing just happened to work out. We sold the new truck. It just kind of panned out really well. Dude needing a trailer, so here we are. We got a big old bus in the front yard now. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I sure hope I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Ah, almost hit Osway in the face. Hold on, okay, goodbye.